Bass.
We should do a bass special.
Just all on bass.
Players, yo.
I'm down for that.
Yo, I'd Primus all day.
Well, this next guy who is the leader of this band, who we will be talking about, will definitely be included in that.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss Motorhead.
Dun, dun.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. First,
excited.
welcome to Let's Talk Musique.
I'm JR.
I'm Ty Boissino. Welcome to the Taiwan On channel. This episode is brought to you by West Coast Guitars. They are located at 2741. Look at that. I got it down. now, even
Got
though I
it.
did
Episode 6.
It only took
Finally got it.
6 episodes to memorize 4 numbers. 2741 East Hastings Street. These guys, you want to talk, you want to shred? You want to shred the nar all over a thick neck?
That thick neck.
You need to go talk to West Coast Guitars. Absolutely amazing. We love these guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Jay, let's get into this. I am so
Let's do it.
pumped
Very
about
pumped.
this.
This is the thing about doing Motorhead. The thing about that is there's a rock god associated with this group that
That's just
sometimes takes over the group.
Yeah.
Lemmy, of course, is who I'm speaking of. Yeah, just a god sometimes that overshadows the rest of the band. But Motorhead is just,
It's so
amazing
good,
and
yeah.
so influential in so many aspects, man.
An insane amount.
Yeah.
Again, we'll continue with this theme of the divide, of the great divide.
I think that's the season 1's overarching topic is the great divide
right?
in genres and music.
Punk and metal.
Punk and metal.
I grew up skating, mainly punk skaters. So it was like, yeah, it was like I appreciated metal, but even as a guitar player, I was like, man, fucking, whatever, it was a little shreddy.
They're a little
shreddy.
too crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it was just like Shreddy McShredston,
Yeah.
like just Wanky McWankston. Like this, you just fucking.
the metalheads were a little too serious, I think, for the punks.
I liked living space. Like I
Yeah.
was whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, and there was like a huge fucking clash. There'd be fights about it.
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
And then when you discover this band, and it's like,
A uniting of those two.
for sure.
Because Motorhead has found a way to be gods in punk and accepted, and gods in metal and accepted.
100%. And in rock.
And
just-
rock
yeah.
in general, people look at Motorhead as just that level. No matter what, you had to respect them. And the punk scene, they would separate themselves from a lot. Like you said, if you were metal and you were playing that thrash metal, all that stuff, the punk scene was doing something else.
Yeah.
But Lemmy and Motorhead
And
found a way to their music just connected both, man.
it is crazy how that divide happened. Like, that's what happened to me growing up. This is not when Motorhead was fucking like. This is way past that
Yeah.
divide that they had to fucking
That
really
they dealt
do.
with in the 70s.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
different.
But there still was
The
like,
90s
Yeah.
still had this huge divide again.
Yeah, it was
like
weird.
it's not that it
cycles
got
back.
solved. It was just Motorhead were the best to do it. Both.
Unbelievable, man. The
And,
way that,
they found a way to do it, and not many have.
yeah, and to it's the bass. It's they feel like it is the bass. Like it's just
It's the bass, but Lemmy is punk. Like I think that's what gave him the acceptance. Like you can be, he was metal and
He
more
looks
rock
hella
as the
metal,
music.
though. He looked hella
and
metal.
his look, everything was metal. But when you heard the stories about Lemmy, he was straight punk rock. Like,
Oh,
'cause
man.
he was, I don't give a fuck about anybody. I don't give a fuck about shit.
I
I'm just
just
going to
want
drink this
chicks.
Jack Daniels
I just
and I want
chicks.
pussy. And that's
It's
it.
literally
Like,
his main
it
reason
was-
for getting into music was to get chicks. He was talking about watching like Cliff Richards or whatever growing up, and like he had like a pile of women around him, and he was like, "That looks like something I want to do."
Right.
And he did it.
And he did it. And as you look at Lemmy and you go, what a human. Like this human looks like he's not very bangable.
No.
But he was so rock and so punk.
How
that-
much inspiration does that give you?
that gave
as
me
an awkward-looking fucking 9-year-old trying to play guitar.
anybody. Yeah, exactly. It all made us go, I want that too.
Yeah.
And the only way we could do it, we couldn't just do it on our looks.
No.
We had to pick
No,
up
sir.
a guitar, a bass. We had to start a band and say fuck everything in the
Yeah.
system. and that was it.
Yeah.
It gave
worked.
us hope.
It worked.
It worked. Fucking Lemmy,
I
man.
still play guitar today.
Yeah, still playing guitar to this day, hoping it still get me pussy.
I remember
and it
being
hasn't
young
paid
and having
off
one of my
yet.
mom's friends be like, "Whatever you do, don't stop doing that." It was basically telling a 9-year-old
Like-
he's ugly.
Oh my God, he's found his thing. Let's nurture it.
Thank God, because
100%.
this kid is.
Oh my God, I
holy
thought he
shit.
was gonna have a
He
hard
is
life.
Awkward. Look how big his head is compared to the
I
rest
can
of his
barely look at
body.
my own kid.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, my mom's agreeing with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
We're
yeah.
nurturing this.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
nurturing
Yeah,
this
we're
100%.
That's fantastic.
There's Motorhead also jumped into different media as well, like you say, skateboarding, video games, because
time.
of Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah,
like
again.
that honestly is probably like I heard of Motorhead and I've heard their songs randomly. But when you're such a gamer and that song keeps playing, Ace of Spades I'm talking about in Tony Hawk, when that song keeps coming on every 20 minutes and you're doing wicked flips and like kick flips and like gnarly shit,
Just
and you're in the middle of a
aggressive
combo and Lemmy's
skateboard,
just
yeah.
going Ace of Spades,
Yeah.
you're just it was
yeah, buddy.
yeah, it was and that I wonder, but that must have garnished them a huge new following too.
Big
in the
time.
90s.
Big
Like,
time.
there you
and-
go.
And it was in between, like, even within, much like metal or even punk, within skateboarding, there's all these other subcategories of whatever, right?
100%.
So, like, the bull skaters and, like, those dudes are, like, the guys who went a million miles an hour and just thrashed the shit. It was like, you're not grinding rail, you're fucking it up.
You're
Like, you know what I
You're
mean?
wanting
Yeah.
to fuck it up.
Like, it's just,
They're putting spikes on their trucks too.
just Ben Hurring
on
it.
their leather
Yeah.
jacket and their
Yeah,
trucks.
yeah, they're literally skating in like studded shit, like just getting fucking cut up to shreds, trying to bomb some hill switch. Like it's just insane. It's fucking
Yeah.
nuts.
And that made you want to do it. That music was so
Dude,
driving.
if you have that shit in your headphones,
Yeah.
I have tried to bomb a hill switch and ate shit.
I don't think I would have been as good as I was at Tony Hawk without that song driving
100%.
my performance.
I feel like I wouldn't have learned like certain tricks or something like that if it wasn't.
It almost made
the
me want to
hype
try
level.
skateboarding.
The high level. Also, the imagery that goes along with Motorhead of just like, yeah, there's always the skulls and
The
the fucking-
snaggletooth,
there's-
man.
Yeah,
The
it's
color,
unreal.
like that artist, like the snaggletooth itself was incorporated along all their whole career.
Yeah,
So artwork again, very punk, very
for sure.
yeah. So they
And the album covers.
yeah,
the album cover for Ace of Spades.
Come on, like,
It's just like, there's these fucking cowboys. And they shot it. They
and it was at a time when you had to, that would draw you into the music. You would be in the record store, and
Yeah,
you'd see a
you've
cover,
got
you
this
go,
big-ass
oh my God,
record.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it had all the line. It wasn't like
I love that.
wasn't like this Spotify that you kids got on today.
Where's
Or
the
this
liner notes?
YouTube.
I don't get to read the lyrics and liner notes.
Yeah, what is it? Hashtags.
I honestly learned so much from all these different bands that I grew up in, because it's true, as cliche as what we were just joking about, but laying there, popping that CD in, and you reading the lyrics or reading the thank yous, reading the liner notes.
The best.
Who's the band thanking? Why is the band thanking this band? And you
best.
go, oh my God, that was their connect. And you're like, how are they connected?
Yeah,
So it did have its place.
for sure.
But incorporate again, and then besides skateboarding, wrestling. Like, you
Okay.
want to talk your that was your
Yeah.
Oh my
What
God!
era of wrestling
when
are we
Triple
talking?
H,
Okay.
when Lemmy wrote Triple H's entrance
Oh
music,
shit! I didn't know this. Is this
oh.
like Degeneration X?
No, this
Shit.
was the game.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
This was the song was the game. This was Triple H.
I've heard.
alone
Okay, I know
himself.
this. Yeah.
So Lemmy and him were really good friends, and you look at it, you're like, yeah, I can see Triple H and Lemmy being buds, and
I feel like
have-
he's friends
having
with
some
everybody.
drinks. Yeah,
Or what? God
if
rest
you
his
if
soul.
you're cool and could drink some fucking jacks and were rock and roll, you were friends with Lemmy.
Yeah.
But Triple H and him, so hearing that, I came to play the game, and then the Triple H comes out, and he even wrote another song, King of Kings, Lemmy wrote for Triple H's group Evolution. So he had a lot of intertwining music with wrestling too. So again, their music spans genres and media and so much.
Because it's fucking good.
And the
it's
kids
just that
in the
good.
2000s
It's that good.
hear Lemmy's voice and go, yeah, like it was still just as
Anyone who sings with a microphone down, like, I would like an hour and a half of this. Like that is.
I didn't know if he
the
was singing
best.
or the mole on his face like was singing.
It could, bro.
Like I
It's
think
harmonizing.
It did backing vocals. He would just turn his face.
Just up like a couple octaves.
Mole, mole, mole.
Yeah.
Oh, Lemmy, I'm so sorry and rest in peace, but I should never joke about that.
And he's a god throughout rock and roll, and was when he was alive. He was one of these living legends sort of situation, right? Dave Grohl has an amazing story about like seeing it, and like I've had like punk friends here who've met Lemmy like down in L.A. or at the Whiskey, like he just was there all the time, just playing like slots, like, and Dave Grohl has a story about going up to him like that, and he was like, "Oh hey, like he had started the Foo Fighters already. He's like, oh like I'm Dave Grohl, like I'm playing the Foo Fighters, and I used to be in Nirvana or like that." And Lemmy like turns to him, and the first thing that Lemmy said to him goes, "I'm sorry, what happened to your friend?"
Oh,
What? Just like what? Come on, man! Like that guy's the best person ever. Like, that's amazing.
Being Dave, I'd be like, if that would tear away any preconceptions I had about this man who you saw on stage and you worshipped as a god, all of a sudden is a human,
Right?
And it's like,
Can you imagine being Dave Grohl and have that being said to you?
I
That's
just
amazing.
thought about it, and I'm like, if I was Dave and Lemmy said that, I'd be like, I'd be speechless. Like I wouldn't know what to say because so many barriers were just broken at one time.
And it's always this don't meet your hero situation. And you do, and that happens. You're like, oh,
that could be a really bad thing, meeting your hero, or in this case, Lemmy turning out to be the greatest thing ever. Man.
Yeah.
And that showed with if you talk to anybody about Lemmy's friends, Lemmy is like behind
his
the
funeral
scenes.
service was the coolest thing ever. It was the best.
Again, and Triple H spoke of that too.
Yeah.
Speaking of friends, like,
and he got his ashes made into bullets.
This dude, he said before he died, he's like, I want my ashes put in the bullets and sent to my closest friends.
Dope shit. That's on par with Hunter S. Thompson getting his ashes blasted into.
Yeah. And of course, Lemmy would have an iconic thing like that to live on. And now there's artists out there and best friends of Lemmy who have bullets with his name initialed on it.
So
how cool
wild.
is that, man?
So wild.
Like, can you imagine something like that on your in your house, just on a shelf
That's
in a
crazy.
casing? Like,
so as much as it's obviously like we said, it's hard not to just dick ride on Lemmy, and it's not dick riding. He deserves
this is what
every
I said
yeah.
Lemmy kind of sometimes overtakes.
But back to the fucking power trio.
Yeah,
because that's basically what we're talking about.
A trio that
the fact that they can make this
so much sound.
loud.
Yeah.
I believe Angus Young is quoted to say there's only one louder band, and it's Motorhead, and that's why they're all like kind of touring back together.
Yeah.
Let's talk the other members here because Fast Eddie is just.
Again, they went through a lot of artists,
a lot of players
members,
for sure,
sorry.
but this is like
that's
the main core.
The core of it is that
I kind of think of,
some of the biggest hits were written by these artists. With him.
Just tasty. That Stratocaster, which kind of weird for on it. It doesn't really make when you hear those tones. I don't think Stratocaster by any means. And I look and that's usually what he's playing.
Yeah.
It's like
I think a lot of that has to do with, again, the guitar wasn't the focal point of this rock band.
What?
You heard bass just as heavy. I think the bass powered with that Strat somehow created that. So like it was different. You're right. For Strat to just be, what are these? Look at like
just crazy instrument. Yeah, just rhythmic bass playing
would drive it. So much. And sometimes like they'd be so wild. You're like, are they even in pocket anymore? Or, like, are they even on time? Like it's just
they're
wild.
not.
They're not. To be straight, they're not. But
it's amazing.
But that was rock and roll, man, at that time. And again, like we said, the divide of your slick produced at this time in the late 70s and 80s, there was such a divide again, like going on in the music industry, and here comes Motorhead, just being like, this is us again, creating a new path. And the sound, nobody knew how they created it or what. It was just when you had those three together, like Fast Eddie.
He's not, because it's like Lemmy's not playing bass. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know what he's doing.
It's
half
fucking
the time.
Amazing. It's so sick.
Yeah. I don't even try to figure it out sometimes.
And then Eddie's playing like it's like power chord stuff, but his licks are so tasty.
Yes,
the taste and solos are unreal. And his ability to, I always admire this. Is my favorite guitar players do this. Their ability to slow down and speed up seamlessly
tempo,
and unbelievable. It's so
still keep the flow. going. Like it's not like it doesn't seem out of place or anything.
Yeah,
It's like that's
exactly.
that's
It's just
the song.
tasty,
It's just tasty.
right?
Yeah.
And then Phil.
Phil, man, like filthy animal Phil, man. He
Literally.
was filthy.
Literally, like, you know what I mean? If it was like, I know Animals based on the Muppets is based off of Keith Moon, but it definitely could have been on Phil.
Right.
'Cause,
And that's only because Keith Moon was before.
yeah.
Like Phil, like that hasn't. They both would have been.
But here's the deal. I
candidates.
feel like there's been reincarnations of that same drummer. Okay, it started with Gene Krupa. If you look at Gene Krupa, who was Benny Goodman's drummer,
Okay.
like if in Wild Man, if you look at him in a photo of Keith Moon, they look almost fucking identical. It's
Yeah.
scary. And Phil Taylor doesn't look too far off from Keith Moon either.
So
I'm
it's
telling
weird.
you,
Like
there's like a shining, fucking nutty drummer sort of situation going on. I swear, that's what's happening.
That's funny.
That's what I'm putting together
And,
anyway.
I'll check it out, guys. You have to look at that. See if you can put together that conspiracy.
I'm gonna put up. I'll put up photos.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Do
right.
that.
You put up photos
Hey,
of this
editor,
goddamn you piece of shit editor. You hear me?
It's almost.
You
you're,
hear me?
You're definitely breaking the fourth wall by talking to.
Well, Saved by the Bell was one of my favorite shows growing up, so I'm a big fan of breaking that wall. Big fan of it. Yeah, where's Kapowski at? Let's fucking go.
Oh, I was Lark all day. Lark Voorhees, where you at, girl?
Where you at, girl?
Where you at, girl? I'm
Girl.
your Screech.
I'll be your screech.
Rest in peace.
Oh man, yeah, there you go.
We go off on tangents.
We do.
What were we just? Oh yeah, Phil. Drumming wise,
Again, a massive kit, super metal kit, not a punk kit.
for just a three-person,
three piece, yeah.
quick, fast, in your face, punky metal, like
Just this little scrappy,
yeah,
fucking dude
And here he is
beating
with
the-
like a Neil Peart style fucking
beating
drum
the
set.
piss out of these drums. Just, oh man, unbelievable. Yeah, such a good, so many great fucking
Again,
tracks.
this episode would be forever if we went through all the members of this group, but we're just going to discuss that core.
Yeah, I feel like that's the
but
main
a lot
thing
of
it.
guitarists
So-
and drummers did.
And fantastic
Yeah.
dudes, great stuff. There's because there's some shit throughout the '80s that Phil wasn't necessarily on,
That's
and,
right. That's
and
right.
all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
really good. And Eddie was in on a bunch of stuff too. But-
Yeah, I think Eddie didn't join until, or I mean, the core, the ending core, I think didn't start until '92. One member and '85 was the other. So, but Motorhead just, it was one of those things where Lemmy could bring in people, but
if Lemmy leaves, you don't have it on right. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he
Again,
wrote the song.
I don't even want to say that because it sounds like I'm taking away from the other artist. I'm
No,
not,
but
I'm not
you're
at all.
you're calling a spade a spade.
Ah!
here.
Yeah. And with that, we are out of here. No.
Yeah.
No.
Let's
The-
talk. Speaking of spades, Ace of Spades, the album
Yeah.
is one of the best albums. It's just like front to back. Is it unbelievable?
Amazing.
I see. Like we were talking Outlaw Country before. Can't really ride the bus to that.
Yeah.
You put on some Motorhead.
But
You're
Motorhead-
riding. You're riding the shit out of that bus.
I'm driving
dude.
that goddamn bus. I've hijacked it. I've thrown the old lady out.
Not letting you on, you old geezer. That's fucking great. Yeah. Oh,
And
man.
again, this is a band who released 22 albums over their
on.
career.
And the covers.
And 10 live albums.
10 live. The covers
the
are
covers.
so unbelievable.
I'm even going to talk about one or two of them in my top 5 because the covers are so good.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do top 5.
Cool. You want to? I'll
You
start
started
it off.
this week?
Iron Fist.
Oh, man.
Dude, I feel like Iron Fist is the better Ace of Spades. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I
Okay.
kind of, that for me it was kind of like Ace of Spades is like great. It's a fantastic song. It kicks off the album. It's like, of course, it has its place, and that song transcends genres, media, whatever. The whole
get it.
thing. I
We
get
get
it. I
it.
get it. But Iron Fist is just a better song, and it's basically the same.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my god, oh man, it's so fucking. good.
Sometimes certain songs just catch for a reason, but yeah.
It's it's always that lead up to it. Oh, that little push.
There's always
oh,
a little engine
Yeah,
going
dude. It's,
with that. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So that was on the Ace of Spades album.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I'm not. I'm not like super. I definitely listen to that album, but
And that's 1980, by the way. Second
Alright.
album. Wow.
Yes.
man. 1980.
which is so crazy to think about that they were coming like you don't think about that style of band in 1980.
Well, that's why I like
There's,
to
like, new
mention the
wave and
year,
shit.
because I'm like,
Yeah,
listen. If you listen to that song and you think 1980, you're like,
no chance.
like it adds more to it. Like
For
just
sure.
to think that this is what they were creating.
Ballsy and hard to fucking come through like that, and like that's their whole
British
whole story.
metal was different as well. Like I have to mention that part. They came up in the British metal scene, which was different than the American one. But point being, neither one was creating this in 1980.
Yeah, for sure.
At all.
But at least the English were a little more accepting of Motorhead compared to fucking the States.
North America was more glam and things like that, and more new wave. But British was, they were definitely more accepting of that.
Killed by Death. Ooh. Coming in at number 2.
We were just playing that before the show started. It was the first song I had just put on. I didn't.
You can squeeze my lizard. I'll put my snake on you.
What a poet Lemmy was.
Oh my god, dude. The amount of like reptilian references and comparisons
way ahead of
for
his
him
time.
And his cock is just spectacular. And it's like, and they know it. They're like, yeah, women don't want to hear about loving a lizard. One of the songs is love a lizard or some shit, rubber reptile, right? It's like, it's so Killed by Death is, again, when the chorus in it, I swear it drops out of time. Like it just does. Like it's hard to fucking count it. But it works. I don't know how to explain it. Just like works. You don't give a fuck. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't.
In a way, it matches.
It does.
Style and writing and everything, even
it's
falling
cool,
out a bit.
Like laid back. It's not as doom. It's like it's Sabbath-esque with the laid backness of it. But
speaking of British metal,
but fast as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain.
That was the thing. They were thrashy, but just punk metal as well. Like definitely the first wave of that.
Overkill
is
coming. Yeah,
of course.
Which is just fire.
I didn't add this to mine because I kind of knew you'd have it.
It kind of falls into that. Like I probably had the trifecta like of the song. It was probably like Ace of Spades, like in my headphones, skateboarding. Ace of Spades, Overkill, and Killed by Death.
Okay.
Well, I mean, definitely with some others too, but those were just, I don't know, those songs, those things just like blend in so well. All those tracks just blended so well to me. Will always have a special place in my heart.
Always have.
Maybe I learned the nollie kick flip for that one.
Exactly. These songs make you want to do that.
They
make you want to.
Definitely don't make you want to nollie kick flip. They make you want to jump down a set of stairs.
They give you what it is they give you the courage to do what you wouldn't.
Dude, it was like watching Rock'em Sock'em before playing a hockey game. Get you jacked up, man.
It was doing something, and then it was getting drunk and doing the same thing.
Okay, my next track is. What I love is this is gonna happen before, and like other people have kind of done tracks like this, but not like this one. We Are the Road Crew.
Huh?
Wow. Okay. It's just a song about how dope the Road Crew is, like all the fucking shit.
Amazing.
And kind of a throwback to Lemmy started as a roadie for Hendrix and shit like that.
Right? Like he gets it.
Yeah, he understands what. Yeah. And they had the same two dudes for like ever, apparently. And those guys got some fucking stories too.
You could tell Lemmy had a respect for
big time. And I was like, I just think that's dope. Like,
and that is so dope.
Yeah.
Again, another aspect of Lemmy's character that just makes him feel even more loved. Like it just makes him more perfect than he already was. Amazing.
Okay, was that 4?
Yeah, I believe so.
God, this is tough. I'll mention this. Okay, quick side note, just like cover stuff with that. Like when their song Ramones, like oh my god, like that is fucking
They were such a good cover band.
Louie was like their first jam.
I loved hearing Lemmy sing covers.
Yeah, it was their first fucking hit with Louie, and so that comes out, and they're like they're like everything. This is gonna fucking suck. This is gonna go nowhere. It debuted at 85 on the top 100, and then they said if it breaks 75, you'll be on top of the pops. And so it's like Motorhead's on top of the pop. Everyone's like, who the fuck is
this?
What are those mutton chops?
Trying to imagine the scene at this time.
Can you?
Yeah, exactly
insane.
that. That's their reaction to everything.
That is absolutely insane.
And hearing Lemmy sing covers is like having Lemmy at a campfire with you, and his like just hearing him belt out tunes that you just want to hear him sing covers sometimes. And I love that about Lemmy, that he was open to that so much.
And then I have to go with just I'll end it with this with just Motorhead, just song.
Yeah, there you go.
Motorhead. It's the last song that he wrote in the band Hawkwind, which was the band he was in before Motorhead, which he got kicked out of because he was doing too much speed.
too awesome.
He was being a Motorhead.
Oh,
it's
there
just
you
basically
go.
what
Which
the
is
name
what
is.
the
Yeah.
band the song was about. So the band name means speed. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
There you
like
go.
Speed Freak,
Speed
Motorhead.
Yeah.
Speed Freak in the States,
That's a
Motorhead
great
in England.
place
Yeah.
to end there. On that.
So many drugs, but we don't even like. Of course, so yeah, that's my top 5.
Lemmy
This
is
guy so much.
probably on level with the outlaw country artists we talked about in the last
As far as
episode,
the drugs.
as far as lifestyle and drugs. Except I don't know if Lemmy shot many people, although you could shoot people with Lemmy still today because of the bullets.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
that's a good
He made
point
it
to
still
think about.
possible to this day. So very outlaw.
That's one way he's gonna murder
Very
someone.
outlaw. It's crazy to think though. Like we're talking
It is.
outlaw in 1976. This is around the same time.
frame, man.
Like,
same time
wild.
frame. This is happening.
We missed out on so much shit.
This is why
We
this
got
show
boned.
has been.
We
great
got
for
boned
me.
by our parents not boning sooner.
God damn it! I
Yeah.
feel like I did miss a lot by that. So going back and through this has been wondrous just for that reason, because it's like. But then again, you start thinking, what did I miss? What did I miss? All right, let's do my top 5. Let's
Get
do
it.
this. Okay, I'm a huge wrestling nerd. I'm a big mark. So, like I already said earlier in the episode, the game, one of the greatest, like, even though it's later in the career, it's from the Hammered album in 2002, but writing that song specifically for Triple H to come out to, and once I heard that, again, I was like, oh my God, yes. And it brought up Tony Hawk, and it brought up all these memories.
It's such a
Lemmy's voice is
distinguishable-
so iconic.
yeah. It hits
that
its strings.
As soon you don't have to know, like, you obviously know right away it's a Motorhead song, like, no matter what. So hearing him on the entrance music, I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect matchup and amazing. Again, so the game that was that they also performed live at WrestleMania 17 and 21.
Sick.
And 21. They performed that song. So
Nice.
such a huge memory of mine growing up, and love again. Motorhead inserting themselves into other mediums and getting with the times no matter what. Like, they were always down with, they were never like, oh, video games, I don't want to put my shit on a video game, or I don't want to put my shit in wrestling and commercial. They did another song for another pay-per-view for wrestling, just for the theme song. Like, it was incredible to see. So
I think they always did shit for, like, they always let people use their stuff for, like, for audiences that appreciated it.
yes,
Like skateboarding or wrestling.
They
and,
knew
like,
they were in tune enough. They weren't old grumpy fucks who just weren't in touch.
yeah.
He knew enough that this mixes, this
And
works.
get that McMahon paper,
Yeah,
bro. Get that
he knew
paper.
Triple H being friends with him. They just knew. He knew that this would work. Like, it's a proper crossover. Some things are meant to be crossed over. Definitely wrestling and Motorhead, and definitely skateboarding and Motorhead.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. And then I'll go with it. It's did you do it, Ace of Spades?
I just said, I think, the album in general.
The album
I mean,
in general. I'll
obviously-
go with the actual song,
So
just
good.
because of the feeling from Tony Hawk. Again, the iconic part of that song is that it skipped generations and brought new generations in the same song. One song can do that instead of the band writing for a new audience. The same song touches different generations is something special.
Yeah.
Like, that's written in 1980 again.
Wild.
And here's 1990 something when Tony Hawk comes out, and these kids are like still feeling it. They get that fucking emotion from it still.
Yeah, and to this day, if you gave some kid like a blind test
Yes.
of Motorhead songs to be like, which one do you prefer out of
Yeah.
this? I mean, 9 out of 10 times you're gonna get that, right?
That's right. Absolutely. And Motorhead, that's what was special about them so much, and their longevity. And they were releasing albums every couple years up until the fucking day he died, pretty much.
Yeah, unreal.
Rest in peace, Lemmy, man. Again, a third song. Let's go with here's a cover. Okay, I'll do a couple covers here.
Okay.
Heroes.
Yeah.
The David Bowie cover.
Yeah.
From the Motorhead covers album Undercover. Like, it's just
so good.
hearing
What a great song.
again, like I said, I've already stated, and I feel like a broken record, but Lemmy doing covers has a special place with me. I love hearing his voice on other people's songs. So,
It's so- yeah,
hearing
it's
Lemmy
wild.
just sing "We Can Be Heroes"
Yeah.
is just so
We can be heroes.
yeah,
So good.
Love it. I love knowing that Lemmy.
How does he not just have like just polyps developed all over his
Probably dead.
but just the jack just kills it.
Yeah,
Like, how do
exactly.
you sing like that? Same with Brian Johnson. It's the same kind of situation, right? You're like, how do you fucking sing like that for 40 plus years?
It's somehow these people, they're wired differently, or they've made an agreement with this that we're gonna do this and we're gonna work together. Somehow the body or that disease is just like, I'm gonna have to listen to him. He's in charge, not me. I can't take over this guy's life. Another one from that Heroes album, not Heroes, for covers. I'll just mention quickly, this, I want both of these to be my third pick, kind of, but Sympathy for the Devil. This was on their
first Stone song I ever heard.
Right? Like, probably almost mine too, I think, time frame. Maybe the song too. Really good. Fuck, Lemmy just singing the Stones, man. I prefer Lemmy's version almost over.
There's so many Stone songs like that.
Yeah.
Like, I like Devo's Satisfaction or Otis Redding's version of it too. It's like, yeah.
It's just when other artists did the Stones, usually that was the case.
That's usually pretty good.
No disrespect to the Stones. I love the Stones.
Yeah. We'll get to you.
We'll get to you. Song number 4, Hellraiser.
Yeah.
On the March or Die 1992 album. This was their 10th album. Another great tune, man. Hellraiser. Like, whether the 90s, whether even 2000s, 80s, Motorhead put out iconic tracks, man.
Yeah, 100%.
They were never like out of touch, like I've already mentioned. So Hellraiser is
as much as Ace of Spades is this epic album and whatever. It's not like, oh, that's where all the jams are. It's like, no, man.
No,
there's always like one or two.
No, yeah, with
There's
them 22 albums.
Yeah,
like, and there is so many hits within those albums. Like when you listen to them, they may not be big out in the open and maybe not like that, but there was no filler in these. Like,
no,
they wrote these songs. These were Motorhead tracks. Final song, Born to Raise Hell. Again, another 1993 album from the album Bastards. Again,
great year.
But Born to Raise Hell. Again, 90s tracks from Motorhead that really still had a huge thing with me. So even though I feel like we didn't miss out on Motorhead, we just didn't catch the early part of their career.
We didn't catch the early part.
So that's all. So I just wanted to say, man, the 90s, 2000s, and the 80s, Motorhead is worth listening to.
It doesn't matter. 100%. It doesn't matter. Yeah, if you haven't for some fucking reason, but you're still
Whether
watching a music show, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Whether it's their 18th album or their first or second album, Ace of Spades.
It's always so good, and I always hold obviously a very special place in my heart for that merging. I met so many. I met so many cool metal friends because of Motorhead, and
so
discovered
many wicked punk friends because of Motorhead.
Yeah, and I discovered so much awesome metal music because of Motorhead.
And it goes both ways here. So here you have your punk kid, your metal kid, and we both got to enjoy each other's world thanks to Lemmy and Motorhead. Motorhead brought us together, I feel.
Big time.
I feel that special connection.
Thank you, Motorhead.
Thank you, Motorhead. We fucking love you.
Yeah,
and
big time.
If I wasn't sober, I'd be drinking some Jacks.
I was actually saying that because I usually have a Motorhead month, about once a year, where I just listen to a shit ton of Motorhead. But it's like I've been clean and sober now for like 2 years almost.
It's hard to have that month, right?
It's hard to have that month
alcohol
without being like, I'm just gonna get bombed on Jack and do a bunch of cocaine. So it's like,
that's what really makes up a Motorhead.
Let's do a track or two. We'll see how it goes, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Let's Talk Music. We will see you next Tuesday. A big thanks to West Coast Guitars. Again, go check them out. 2741 East Hastings Street.
He still got it.
Yeah.
I'm JR.
I'm Ty. Peace.
Later.